is like unplugged.
Yeah.
Hello? Well, I'll just project. Edwin wanted me to talk to you about the genesis for this novel. I'm just going to abbreviate that genesis because after the reading, I'm going to have a conversation with poet Barbara Jane Reyes. She'll ask me a couple of questions and then she'll throw it out to the audience. And this is my first reading in like 3 years. I'm kind of nervous. And so what usually calms me down is poetry. So I'll begin with a poem that I wrote in 1998, which was around the same time that I started working on Leche, which takes place in 1991 because it was a pivotal year for Filipinos and the Philippines for many reasons, most of which I included in Leche. And anyway, in 1998, I was there on a Fulbright grant, and this American actress was there at the same time to film a movie about two Americans who got caught for drug smuggling in Bangkok. So Bangkok, then Manila was serving as a stand-in for Bangkok. And while she was there, I guess she had a nervous breakdown. Because when she returned to New York, she was interviewed by a magazine, and this is what she had to say about Manila, which is, it fucking smelled of cockroaches. There's no sewage system in Manila, and people have nothing there. People with like no arms, no legs, no eyes, no teeth. We shot in a real psychiatric hospital. So she inspired me to write this poem. And around the same time that I started working on Leche. And so I wrote this poem for her. It's called A Letter to Claire Danes from a Fan in Manila. Dear Claire, it is ghastly indeed, this city crowded with cockroaches and people who walk without legs, drive long chrome-plated coffins without arms, and stare imperiously at you without eyes. Not to mention squatters sleeping on stilts, island panhandlers, again without arms and legs, highway beggars, again without eyes and hair, and sidewalk dwellers whose walls are painted with huge signs reminding people not to dump trash, piss, shit. By the way, how was San Francisco? Are you now back in the East, Boston, or Manhattan, that is? I am forever still in Manila, writing you with much concern because the city mayor has called an emergency meeting to ban the showing of all your movies, including Les Miserables. The papers and glossy fashion magazines are christening you unknown, uncouth, uncultured, unconscious. Word has it that Brooke Shields is here too, gambling at Heritage Casino on Rojas with fishermen and politicians. Is it true? Is she with Andre? Are they still together? But what you said about the city of roaches and missing extremities are bold impressions I cannot hold against you. For first-time travelers from first-world countries all undergo cultural seizures here. Tics of the mind responsible for setting off a series of generalizations and assumptions about bugs, blindness, and amputation. Not excluded from this list are Filipinos in America like Cousin Jennifer from Daly City, Tito Bird in Wichita, and Tita Joan in Pasadena. Claire, I would like to invite you back to Manila. Make another movie, a romance, and not one filmed in a psycho ward. Do it with Matt Damon or McConaughey or Broderick, but preferably Dylan. Or why not Matt Mendoza, Manila's own AK Breaky heartthrob, and bring with you once more your dollars, your talent, and this time, crutches and roach spray. So the novel is about a 23-year-old Philippine-born Phil Am, who returns to the Philippines after 13 years of absence. And if you read Rolling the R's, he is the character Vince de los Reyes, who went by Vicente de los Reyes and now goes by Vince. And to help me read from Leche, I'm going to ask two of my close friends who are themselves artists, Wilma Consul and Joel Tan. So. Kailangan na ng guitar, no? So the novel begins at the Honolulu International Airport, and it moves to Manila and then to a provincial town north of Manila. And here we go. From Bonifacio Dompit's Decolonization for Beginners, a Filipino glossary. Balikbayan, now. 1. Coined by the Marcos regime in 1973 for US-based Filipinos returning to visit the motherland and witness its vast improvements, attributed to martial law. 2. Unwitting propagator of martial law propaganda. 3. Potential savior of the Philippine economy. See also overseas Filipino workers, brain drain. At the Honolulu International Airport, May 1991. At the Mabuhay Express lane, Vince is trying hard to ignore the group of women gossiping about him literally behind his back, which is not uncommon. Filipinos talking loudly behind your back is their indirect way of showing you that you are important enough to kill time with. If they don't do it behind your back, they'll do it beside you or in your face. And if you're not within sight or hearing distance because you're in Serengeti National Park or glacier sighting in Patagonia, they'll make certain their words reach you.
Mom, that's the kind, yeah?
A teen wearing all black in the 90-degree heat says in a thick Hawaiian pidgin English accent,
What the kind you talking about? Speak English, Jennifer.
her mother says, impatient because the line for coach travelers hasn't moved an inch, held up by passengers who, despite repeated pleas that they've weighed the balikbayan boxes at home using their bathroom scale, refuse to either pay the exorbitant excess baggage fee or sacrifice a dozen canned goods or that transistor radio or VCR or those rolls of toilet paper, paper towels, bath mats, face towels, or back issues of Time and Life until the digital scale reads 70.
Not so loud, Mom.
The girl says,
I can hear you.
using her mouth, she points a yard away to Vince. Her mother digs into her Fendi purse for Carolina Herrera glasses. As she puts them on, she nudges the woman beside her.
¿Qué quieres, Mami?
She says, addressing her companion as Mare, to denote the depth of their friendship.
He is here, Mare.
Who?
The Let America Be America Again guy, Mare.
Really? Where?
The woman stretches her pursed lips to Vince.
He looks so much better live than on my Sony Trinitron.
Her friend says, eyeing Vince up and down through her rhinestone-studded glasses.
And so much more guapo than the negro who won. He's a gay, you know, Mare.
She whispers loud enough for the natives on Easter Island to hear.
Talaga? A gay? Cannot be.
Yes, since high school days. He went to school with Nelson before Nelson transferred to Punaco.
She says, her words drowned out by the matriarch in front of them yelling,
I told you I weighed the damn box myself.
at the supervisor, a gray-haired Filipino man who tries to appease her with,
I understand, Mom, but your balikbayan box exceeds the maximum weight limit by 30 pounds.
Vince shifts his attention to the supervisor. The veins on his forehead are bulging, ready to pop.
So, what are you telling me? My bathroom scale is a liar?
The matriarch says,
No, ma'am. I'm only informing you of PAL's baggage policy, which is stated on your ticket.
Silence leads to a deadly 5-minute staring contest. The matriarch finally concedes. She hands him a $100 bill, but not without muttering the cuss word that she throws at him like 1,000 machetes.
Leche.
She spits, as if the word tasted sour. Vince understands what she means, and though it's been ages since he's heard the word used in that context, hearing it again brings a smile, small as it is, to an otherwise stressful day. The word conjures up childhood memories of melodrama movies, when deceived lovers during a confrontation scene threw it in the face of their cheating partners before walking away, as if to tell them no one could ever break their heart again. The word has a definitive weight about it. It is fierce and final, an amulet to guard them from future heartbreak. His grandfather used to say it all the time. Leche, he'd say, the word leaving his body like a switchblade, small, beautiful, deadly. His voice deceptively dulce, so that one never knew what he was thinking or feeling, if he were angry or sad or remembering. Just like the word that has come to mean different things to different people. Leche, milk in Spanish, but to Filipinos, shit. Tourist tips. The Philippines is a very loud country. Bring earplugs. Pinoys, a nickname for Filipinos, is also spelled P-noise. Filipinos cannot live without making noise, hearing noise, or being noise. Filipinos can meditate to heavy metal music. Filipinos fight for noise. Cacophony is worth dying for. Filipinos don't pray in silence. They ululate in tribes. At wakes, they don't weep, rather they wail, screech, tear the roots of their hair, hold vigil-long monologues to the dead, complete with a live brass band on the patio. According to the World Health Organization, 1 out of 10 Filipinos is born with a hearing problem. 6 will go legally deaf by age 30. Filipinos are marathon talkers on the phone, in movie houses, with food in their mouths, during a church sermon, Senate hearing, or academic lecture, when committing acts of crime or passion, and while sleeping. Their hi-fi mating calls can be heard as far north as Taiwan and Borneo in the south. There are approximately 70 million Filipinos in the Philippines circa 1991. 90% of them reside in Manila. Postcards. Image, the jeepney. Caption, the jeepney, king of the road.
Edgar. Garcia Marquez was right. No such thing as magical realism in Macondo or Manila. Mention magical realism and people here will think you're magically retarded. What you see is what you get, and it comes to you at 100 miles per hour and smelling of diesel fumes. All that crap about Western metaphors, signs, and symbols is useless here. Now I understand why Martin Sheen had the heart attack and why the film crew kept tripping on acid while filming Apocalypse Now. Like the maid of my maid said, the jungle is not for everybody. In a shithole, Vince.
PM Talking with yours truly, Chris Aquino. She's one of the supporting casts in my novel. So if you watch Filipino variety show, the intro goes something like this.